Good morning guys, I hope you are well. I'm alone in the woods today, just walking around. I'm going to try and show you some things I see, and then I'm going to try my best to communicate the plan.
It's been a cold day in the Mideast. Life was a riddle and luck tested everyone. It's been a fight, oh, though we had medicine, nobody cared about you. Had to look it up, reading dictionary stuff. You had to suck it up, had to drop it out, writing dictionary stuff.
But here it comes.
In these days we're left with
the wind. Although invisible, you can see everywhere. And boy, can you feel it when it comes in strong. Here it comes again. Oh my life. Wow. I feel I've caught a glimpse of all 4 seasons now. I haven't seen the final transition between summer and autumn begin to happen, but I will see that. Normally with projects, businesses, ideas, I think up the strategy, the end goal, A to B first, then begin to talk about it, then begin to think about doing it. Woohoo! But this journey with nature, with the woods, has been quite different. It's been about seeing it and experiencing it and being in it first, and then seeing what came up naturally as a result. So I'm going to go now and try and get on the board and show you what's in my mind.
within you to find worlds.
Ever since I started this journey, when I went to the Corcovado rainforest in Costa Rica about 3 years ago, that question of what is really going on has been the thing that has driven me most. And for me, anything we do going forwards as a community is going to have that at the heart of it. Whether I'm thinking about whether to invite a speaker or somebody else wants to run a retreat, I'm going to be asking myself, are they caring about trying to help you find a deeper sense of real authenticity? Are they helping us to explore what is really going on existentially? Or are they helping us to really understand what is going on in the macro world at large today? So this is the key question.
Within you to find worlds.
If it doesn't have that question at its heart, then I'm not sure it's something that's fit for the Corcovado community. No matter what doctrine, medium, tradition, discipline, modality people have been coming from, I see 2 similarities in worldview, in the lenses by which people engage with their environment. And one is the idea that maturity comes like a mighty wind. No, that maturity comes through figuring out what you believe and then building up a barricade around those beliefs to become invulnerable to opposition. But there's another kind of worldview that I've seen that harks to a different kind of paradigm, that kind of says, actually what we need as people is to have a strong, stable and safe environment within which to grow our egos, within which to grow our sense of identity and understanding of the material world around us and how we engage with it. But that actually the maturity or the fulfillment of that growth journey comes from actually being willing to start seeing how our boxes separate us from truth, how our specific modalities, religions, disciplines and doctrines actually can begin to create illusion that can blind us from the mature truth. The process of maturity is finding situations and relationships that allow you to start pulling that rug from under your own self, that allow you to start delayering the truths that you believed in, to see the gems of wisdom that lay beneath the layers of doctrine. And so that's what I really want to do with people in 100 different ways, through music, through arts, through science, through philosophy, through technology. There's 3 subjects that I don't think our national paradigm of politics can handle. The first is our environment. The second is artificial intelligence, and the third are refugees. All 3 of these ideas, the environment and how we look after it, how we engage with the future of technology, different realities and different forms of intelligence, and how we deal with global migration of people, especially from war-torn situations. These are all subjects that have no interest in national borders. All 3 of these subjects are global by nature, and therefore we need global systems of governance that allow us to engage with them in a holistic fashion. Now, going from a national paradigm to a global paradigm and not having some evil dictator at the heart of it is a bloody difficult thing to do. We can't go back to a world where we don't have all these global implications. I think we need nothing less than a global renaissance, a huge pool of creative talent to take their talents out of the market for short-term gain in the advertising, marketing, media and art sectors, to advertise wisdom, to advertise and talk about, engage with and educate people on the things that are really going to shape the future for our children and our grandchildren. Even when I stand right here, it puts me in a different mind frame. These Scotch pines were parked about 60 years ago by the landlord's grandfather. They won't be pulled up and sold for another 60 years. I don't know a single other job or part of society that is able to think over 100 or so years. Being in nature has given me an education about what it is to be, but being inside a business like this has helped me think with a longer time frame about what does this mean for 4 or 5 generations. These were planted for paper. The landlord's grandfather had to take a punt on what he thought he could do with his land in order to make commerce. Little did he know the internet was going to come. In the Renaissance in 1300s to 1600s in Northern Europe, we had this incredible swirl of theology and philosophy and creative arts and technology that all emerged and fed into one another to create a period in history that we'll never forget, that changed the way that we think. It was in the 1500s that Gutenberg came up with the printing press, which helped Protestantism to flourish. When a group or movement of people make history, it's because they see the benefits in working together for the long haul. They get inspired by different trades, different mediums and modalities. They allow the ideas to swirl together to attend to the things that matter most. As you know, I've been exploring this on-off grid lifestyle, thinking about how do we appreciate the depth of the analog reality, but also take advantage of this unique opportunity to connect to the global grid, to gain knowledge, insight and connection from anywhere around the world at any point. And the more time I spend in the depth of analog reality, the more I realize how much of a miracle it is that we get to connect with anyone around the world on anything that we please. So the first thing I'm prioritizing for my week is continuing to realign myself to the vision that I'm talking about here. Making sure that the week's activities that I conduct are fitting into this, and if they aren't, then saying no to them. The second is making sure that I am building. Day 2 is about being present, about me being here in nature, in the woods, filling up my reservoir and my pool so that I'm able to speak from a place of experience, not from theory or from learning I've done years in the past. I have to keep seeing the world and engaging with the world in first person, otherwise I'll become pretty crap at the rest of my job. The third part of my week that's become a real surprise is coaching, walking with people through the woods, enjoying listening to people, creating a space for them to learn, and getting inspired myself as I listen to the struggles of others. And there's a real sense of companionship. Day 4 for me is YouTube day. It's about taking any content that I've captured like this, editing it down, publishing it to the internet, and managing that conversation with you guys, something that I've come to really love. Such a nice way to pull together everything that's going on. And day 5 for me is about teaching. It's about organizing the ingredients that are happening all throughout the week, codifying them into a format that can help scale. Whether that be the CORCOVADO Handbook that I've been writing, that brings together all the different models and concepts I've delivered at universities and to corporates. We don't need gurus and teachers to tell us what to do, but sometimes we need tools that can help empower us to think about our own story, to uncover more of what's really going on. As far as the CORCOVADO Handbook goes, I've now settled on the 7 different chapters. Each chapter has a teacher from nature, the sun, the moon. I'll show you a picture of the deer, which is probably my favorite, but I'll keep the rest for you to see when it's finished. I hope that makes sense for you about what I'm doing, but I hope it also makes sense to you for what you might spend your time doing. You might think a different question is most important for your life. You might have a different school of thought on what you think should be of central importance to your life. You might identify different issues in the macro climate, and you will almost definitely have completely different ingredients available to you. But if you are watching this video on Thursday night, just after 9 PM, then I would encourage you, you have less than an hour left to go to the voting booth. I've written a blog about my thinking on that below, so check it out if you want. Stop the video and go right now if you haven't done it already. Check out my highly technological camera stand. And this is where you guys can get involved. I don't want to be like that guy in Into the Wild. I've needed to go deep, but I don't want to be alone. I want to do this together. For 6 months or so now, there's been at least 10,000 of you watching every single week, which I really, really appreciate. And my thinking and hope is that 1 in 100 of you, so 100 out of 10,000, might want to go to the next level with this project. So I've set up a Patreon page which I used for the Verbals experiment last year, and what I'm asking you guys for is to support anything from $1 per episode. And as a reward, there's 2 things that I want to give the first 100 of you. First is one of 100 copies of the CORCOVADO Handbook. It will be done pretty handmade because it won't be ready for big distribution, and you'll get your own copy of that if you're supporting the videos regularly when the handbook is ready to go, which should be the end of the year. The second is that I want to throw a big CORCOVADO party to say thank you to all of you who go from just being a viewer to being an active collaborator in making this happen. You will see in the videos the fruits of the cash that you put in. Okay, it certainly hasn't been 5 minutes, it's about an hour and a half. But I started out with one of those, ended with one of these. I would say it's about a halfway house. I also didn't start with one of these square blocks, it was just a tree. I'm aware that this doesn't only look like an owl. I can't really be giving these as gifts to people. I'm gonna have to start with square blocks because this is, you just can't.
Within you to find worlds.
Ben's Pens. I'm 15, I live in Cardiff. I've sent you an English white oak pen. I've done this for you because you live in a forest in England. I was hoping you'd do me a favour and recommend my Facebook page. That is absolutely bang on the money, Ben. I will definitely stick your link in below. Thank you so much. This is the exact kind of creativity that I love seeing from the CORCOVADO community. Cheers guys. Check out the Patreon site and have a little think about whether you want to get more involved in this. Take care of yourself. I will see you next Thursday at 9 PM. Cheers.